Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Freaky Fast Broadcasting as we're back here at the Martinsville Speedway with the RSR Cup Series from the Evolution Racing Leagues. And they have round number 7 here tonight at the Paperclip as they take it on for 170 laps. And man, I tell you what, this place can definitely take your heart away as it's a tough racetrack here for the SC Transport 170 from Martinsville Speedway here tonight. As we got to give a shout out to all our sponsors that help make it happen here at the Evolution Racing Leagues and Freaky Fast Broadcasting. So we want to always give them a special shout out. Or Nissan Central. Or Nissan Central is the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. You can go check them out at their website at www.nissancentral.com and see what they have in store for you there. Next, we have Sheffield Graphics. Sheffield Graphics is the leading designer in sim racing paint schemes and liveries. It was found by a Navy veteran, and a portion of every paint goes to the Military Foundation Folds of Honor. It's a great nonprofit organization who gives sponsorships to the families of fallen soldiers and disabled veterans. Make sure to go check them out on Facebook under Sheffield Graphics and tell them Freaky Fast sent you. Next, we have ButtKicker. Feel what you have been missing. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10-powered race car, from ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly synced with every game with no additional software required. So make sure to go to ButtKicker.com and you can feel what you have been missing. You can also use Freaky Fast 20. That is Freaky with 2 E's to get 20% off at ButtKicker.com of any purchase online. So make sure you use that so you can let them know that we sent you there, and thank them very much. And you can go feel what you have been missing there at ButtKicker.com. Thank you to all the sponsors here. Make everything happen. It is very important. That's how we put the show on here tonight at Martinsville Speedway. I am Zach Hall up in the booth. I got my colleague Brandon Colley up here calling the shots with me, giving us all the great feedback that we hear throughout these races. We also have Robert Moore Jr. running the cameras, keeping us on the right cars and the right moments when we see the action. So thank you to everybody for tuning in tonight. Brandon, we got a special one for round number 7 here tonight.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a crazy race here. 170 laps. And judging by what we're seeing here in practice, these guys are really struggling with grip tonight. This track is really slick, and it's going to be a pretty big challenge.
Oh, it's going to be a huge challenge. I mean, we just got done with the ARCA race. Great, wild race in there from Martinsville we've seen. I expect nothing less from here. I mean, with the amount of cars especially we have on the racetrack here, and I think we're pushing the upward limits of 38 race cars out here. It's going to be wild, and I tell you what, drivers are going to have to stay on their P's and Q's all night to be able to get around this tough, tricky half mile here in Martinsville.
Yeah, it is a very well choreographed dance that everybody has to abide by. You step on somebody's toes, and about 6 people are going to fall down during this dance. So everybody's going to have to be really mindful of their braking points and where other people around them's braking points are, and you've got to be so easy on the throttle and just be really patient here. And that's really the key to just surviving the race. If you've got speed, you've got speed, but if you don't, you just got to be really careful and make sure you don't cause problems for anybody else.
That's right, no problems. You don't want them here at Martinsville, but I tell you what, they seem to find you when you're at the Paperclip. So got to be able to get away from those and keep yourself out front and stay clear of the carnage here at the Paperclip. But I tell you what, we got a pretty interesting week coming in here. You know, we had a lot of drivers right here get filled in for tonight, and also some good news for Stephen Baldwin in the number 18 out there on the racetrack. As I believe Stephen is here tonight. I've actually, yes, he is. Stephen Baldwin out there in the 18. He right now has made the full-time transition over to Clutch Motorsports. So congrats to him on that. He will be full-time now here in the Cup Series. And that number 18 is, looks like practice just came to an end there. We will head into qualifying. But back to the drivers that we have filling in here tonight. It's a pretty big list here. So we got Stephen Carey filling in, or is the sub for Brock Potter in that number 4 machine for Team Stealth. You're also going to have Christopher Smarole for Zach Schrittenthal here tonight. As I do not see Smarol out there. So definitely interesting to not see him out on racetrack here tonight so far. As this is what we got word of the fill-ins, and we also have Hunter Hayward out there. He's filling in for the 24 Kip easily for Team Zab. You got Kevin Dowd out there subbing for Casey Kuntz in the 31 machine, and Rusty Modesty has now permanently replaced Robert Nestor for Team Zab in that 6 machine. So we'll continue to see Rusty Modesty in the 6 car, continue to be here in the Cup Series. These drivers are in qualifying right now to see who can win that Sheffield Graphics Pole Award and get to talk to the man himself, Brandon Colley.
Well, looking like, right as I was about to say that, Cody McCauley jumped up to the top of the board, as per usual. Used to seeing him there, but Hunter Hayward, he was right there with Cody during practice, so see if he can get up here and go toe-to-toe with him here to try to take this Sheffield Graphics Pole Award for Martinsville.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to slot into that 4th position there, Brandon. I think he made a mistake on that first lap, and he's going to slot himself there into 4th. Remember, he's a newcomer here tonight, filling in for the 24 Kip Easley. So I have to see how he can position himself throughout this race. As we've seen, he's been very strong in the Argus Series so far, but a tough racetrack here tonight for your Cup Series debut here at the RSR Cup Series.
I tell you, it's probably not a track I'd want to have my debut in. That's for sure.
You know, it's definitely to each their own. But I think you're completely right. Oh man, look at John Willett. He just put him a 1975-1 to beat his teammate by a thousandth of a second. He says, "Not today, Cody McCauley. I am the Sheffield Graphics pole setter so far because we only have about 3 minutes to go, so we still got time. We'll see if anybody can beat that. But a great lap there from that 81.
I was watching in practice, and John Willett and Cody McCauley both were right on top of each other as far as times goes. And it shows that that team has been putting in a lot of practice this week, and John Willett looking to really make the most of it and try to pull out a win here, and certainly looking like he's going to take the pole award at this point.
Yeah, it looks like at the moment he is the man to beat so far here through our qualifying session. That is a fantastic time. I mean, those guys picked up almost a full 10th from where they ran in practice, so that's impressive to see from those top 2 drivers, and they are teammates, like you said, Brandon. So a lot of teamwork being put in there. And if I remember correctly, we had a truck series race here at the Evolution Racing Leagues where John Willett did pretty well in that 81. So this track could definitely suit him, I feel like.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. You know, we've seen that he has the speed to be competitive, especially at Martinsville. And I think the trucks, especially, it translates very well to this Cup package that we have, where they're so similar. Just the differences in horsepower, really. So I'm excited to see. Looking right now, doesn't look like he's gonna get knocked off that top spot if he can make use of that track position, because track position, especially with a field this big, is going to be so crucial.
Like you said, track position, track position, track position. We'll talk about it all night tonight with these cars. You know, if you're in the 10th position, you're not going to get to the lead in 2 laps. It's going to take you a very long time to get there. As I believe right now, one of the cars out here putting down a qualifying lap is the 131 of Dylan Reed, who coming here tonight, second in points behind teammate Cody McCauley here. We'll see if they can put the Elite Racing Group here 1, 2, 3.
Well, I think Dylan Reed, he's definitely got the talent to be able to do that here. Just how to put together that really smooth line. Really good look through 3 and 4 that time by. Maybe a little bit wide, but still pretty good.
Looks like it's going to slot him in that 14th position for his first lap as we look at Kevin Zabladil in the 17. Here comes Reed off of turn 2. There you see Zabladil in 3 and 4 here, completing his qualifying lap. See where he slots in. It looks like he'll go to the 28th position. Where does Reed go on his second lap? Looks like Dylan Reed up to 3rd. So 1, 2, 3 so far for the Elite Race Group. Can Kevin Zabladil get himself up into the top 5 or top 10 here as he rounds turn 4 for his final lap? Looks like he'll cross the line there, pick up a little bit of time, go from 28th to 21st for a nice pickup there to a 20.079 for Kevin Zabaldil. And guess what? That's the end of our qualifying session here tonight. Looks like John Willett's going to be our Sheffield Graphics pole winner. And we will go to our grid here as we got a gigantic field here tonight at the Martinsville Speedway for tonight's SC Transport 170. John Willett, they're going to start on pole, followed by teammate Cody McCauley and teammate Dylan Reed in second and third. Fourth's going to be Kevin Ruff. Fifth, Curtis Preston. Sixth, Hunter Hayward. Seventh is Chad B. Singer. Eighth's going to go to Trevor Massetti. Ninth, Dustin Stallings. Around out your top 10 is Alex Rudolph.
In 11th place, Kevin Jadrosich. Travis Everett in the 59 start rolling off 12th tonight. Ryan Bean in 13th. GT Irizarry in 14th. Andrew Little rolling off 15th. Nathan Campbell, 16th. Craig A. Burns in 17th. Nolan Potter rolling off in 18th. Michael Sheffield in that 19th position. And J.R. Miller in 20th.
21st going to be Kevin Zabladil. 22nd going to Rusty Modesty. 23rd, Kevin Dowd. 24th, Harold Watkins. 25th, James Courtroan. 26th, Daniel Gonzalez. 27th, Adam Buzzio. 28th, Stephen Baldwin. 29th, David Hall. And rounding out the top 30 is Michael Martino.
And Bob Fitzpatrick in the 3 and 31st. Marc-Andre Thibodeau in 32nd. Anthony Younes in 33rd. Kevin Sabilla, 34th. Tony Ludi, 35th. And Stephen Carey in the 36th position.
And that is our starting lineup here tonight for the RSR Cup Series, as we have John Willett on the Sheffield Graphics Pole Award here tonight. Let's see what his thoughts are on getting himself on that top spot here tonight in the Cup Series. Here is John Willett, your pole setter.
Hey, John, it's Brandon up in the booth.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, bud, you managed to knock Cody McCauley off that pole run that we're so used to seeing him on. So congrats for that, man, taking the Sheffield Graphics Pole Award. And we know you've got some speed here at Martinsville after seeing you in the truck race. You know, how are you going to approach this race here? We know it looks like you guys don't have that much grip. Do you think, it's really going to come down to that tire management tonight?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a long race. You got to keep the fenders on it for all 170 laps here. We got to keep the tires on it too. We only have a set amount, so I'm really excited to be talking to you guys. We got a really fast Delta 9 6.2 Designs Chevrolet here. Really excited, but we got a lot of work to do. Got to put the elbows up and get ready.
Well, best of luck to you, bud, and hopefully you can keep that thing up front, and we'll talk to you for one of these stages or for the win tonight. So wish you the best of luck and have fun.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right. That was John Willett, your Sheffield Graphics pole winner here tonight in that 81 machine, starting alongside his teammate Cody McCauley and Dylan Reed there. The 131 directly behind. But 170 laps here tonight at the Martinsville Speedway for round number 7 of the RSR Cup Series. Stages at lap 45 and 90, 33% of fuel, and 4 sets of tires in the pits. We're getting ready to do this. Pace cars in. John Willett going to lead us to the green flag. Green flag is in the air, and we're off racing here for round number 7 at the Martinsville Speedway.
Everybody already, before we even got to turn 1, looking to start slotting in single file there to take that preferred inside lane here as John Willett gets passed by his teammate Cody McCauley coming out of turn 2. That
was just, playing it perfect. Cody McCauley just rolled the outside, got the great runoff off the top, and made it work. Is old Kevin Ruff in the 112. He goes around. I don't believe there's going to be a caution for that yet, as he's still stop up in the turn, and there it is. Caution is out. First of tonight, brought to you by Orr Nissan Central. And man, oh man, unfortunate for the 112 of Kevin Ruff. And just like our ARCA race, man, we're starting off with a little bit of bumping and banging here to start the race.
Well, I think some of those guys are going to be really happy that was just a single car spin that was held up in the top lane there. Looks like the admins decided to go ahead and throw that caution for, I think, for Kevin Ruff's benefit more than anything else. But definitely a lot better of a result than we saw in the ARCA race, being a parking lot in turn 1.
Yeah, it definitely was there. And due to it being an admin, I don't believe we'll be able to get a replay there for you. But it looks like the 112 Kevin Ruff did get turned around there. It looks like he might have got a little help too from the 88 Trevor Massetti there to start this off. And it's easy to do that first turn, first lap. You see it all the time here at Martinsville. People just overdoing it a little bit, and because you got some people backing it up, being conservative, and then you got the other people who just missed their marks just a little bit.
Yeah, and it really just takes the tiniest of taps. You don't have to hit anybody with really a whole lot of force to upset the rear end like that. And I don't even know if Cavan managed to, if he hit anything. I think he just kind of backed it up toward the fence. And I got to give a really good, round of applause to him for not pulling back down and
Yeah.
waiting. I've
Yes.
seen so many times where somebody's been in that position and just taken out a whole bunch of people just because they weren't willing to wait. So hats off to you, my friend.
Yeah, he gets the Freaky Fast morals award because that was great morals on his part, racing wise, because a lot, like you said, Brandon, a lot of people that would have seen some carnage more possibly by trying to pull back down or get going again. The 112 said, I'm gonna let this whole line go by, and that guess what? That saved his race and other drivers' race. So great job, great call by him in that driver's seat so far.
And I've also got to point out GT Irizarry coming out of pit road right now. He's going to be scored 7 laps down.
Ooh.
I believe I'm not sure exactly what the the deal is, but there's a lot of people that I guess that are having issues with staying connected to the server. So these guys were in for qualifying and practice, and then lost connection, had to come back in here, but it's not that difficult to make up laps at Martinsville. So I'm sure that we will see the 14 back on the lead lap here, making his way through the field before too much longer.
Yeah, it looks like I believe he's 4 laps down here. Unless next time across the line it changes. But yeah, GT there in 36, 4 laps down. It's gonna be a long night. I tell you what, though, he just got to keep his head down, stay out of trouble. You can definitely get back from that. As I'm imagining we'll get a few laps. Here's here he's 7 laps down right now. My score says 4, but we'll have to see how that all shakes
Oh,
out as he crosses.
yeah, okay, it just updated. Oof.
So yes, 4 laps down for GT. It looks like pace car's back in. Cody McCauley going to have the bottom lane this time here as he leads his 2 teammates back to the green flag here as they come off of 4. Green flag back in the air. Oh, Reed spins the tires. That's going to check out the bottom lane. Looks like Hunter Hayward there. Heads up job by him not to get to the back of that 131 as they head down the one. Ooh, backing up that corner here side by side. The 48, Hunter Hayward and Trevor Massetti for that position.
No, we had a parking lot, or the start of a parking lot over in turn 1.
Reed goes around. Whoa. And no caution so far. Oh, man.
It looked like that was off the bumper of the 88 at Trevor Massetti again.
Wow. Ooh, yeah, I believe, yeah, it looks like the 88 might have gotten to the back of that 131. And, man, oh, man, Dylan Reed, they're losing all that track position. But he did almost a 360 and kept it going.
Yeah, I mean, the rear bumper's a little beat up, but other than that, I think the tires are, well, I think the benefit here is his tires are probably more of a temp than anybody's right now.
Yeah.
So, it could have been a whole lot worse.
It definitely could have been. Well, to see where he slots in now. Looks like he's back into the 19th position back here, fighting through the field. But, man, oh, man, that's unfortunate. I tell you what, good thing, though, it's no other cars, I believe, got into that. And we stayed green here.
Well, and
oh,
Hunter.
Who is that coming off of 4? Looks like Chad Biesinger here in the 23. He's parked up into the top 4.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
I believe. Looks like we're gonna have a caution there. But man, oh man. That was interesting. That yellow did not come out for a while. You had the 18 of Stephen Baldwin there sitting on the exit of 4. So second caution night brought to you by Orton Nissan Central.
Kevin Sabilla got the, I think, the worst end of that deal. Really
Yeah.
nowhere to go with the car spinning out back down the racetrack in front of him.
Yeah, it's gonna knock the front end of that 78's front end off. So unfortunate for him there. And I this is definitely shook everything up here as caution here tonight, and yeah, I believe a lot of incidents happened there to bring that one out, Brandon.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, normally I've seen, to be fair, I've seen things that were minor incidents that have thrown out a caution, but I've seen cars completely piled and upside down. But just because they happen to be in the wrong part of the track, there's no caution for it. It's just kind of one of those things. But the admins are being on top of it today and just trying to let it play itself out. And if they feel like it's gone too far, throw out that yellow flag.
Yeah, the second caution here early at the Martinsville Speedway for the SC Transport 170, and like we've seen GT there, he looks like he now is still 4 laps down. Matthew Rush, I believe, 7 laps down here. Maybe Matthew Rush was one of the other drivers who suffered from that disconnect because we were getting worried about some servers kicking people left and right here, and so unfortunate for a few drivers here to be stuck back already pretty far back here early. And I tell you what, that can be the beginning of a rough night.
Well, I mean, the good news is that if you are in the position of GT in the 14 or Matthew Rush in the 11, you've got no reason to be racing anybody right now. You get to stay out of all the trouble. You can lay way back and let it all kind of unfold and just take your time, get your laps back, and then race later.
Oh man, like through all that, it's kind of shook up the field a good little bit here. I mean, you got Kevin Zabaldil 21st to 12th, Rusty Mossy 22nd to 13th, Daniel Gonzalez behind 26th to 14th, James Gordon 25th to 15th. A lot of guys gaining positions through little incidences here and there.
It was something we touched on during the ARCA race that a lot of the times, if you are in the back of the field, that's a really good way to make up positions rather than having to battle somebody, really, really hard to try to set up that pass for a good number of laps. Is just keep your head on a swivel, and when you see something happening, just do your best to avoid it and let them take themselves out and make up get freebies essentially. I guess you would say.
We'll take freebies all day at Martinsville.
Love freebies.
That's for sure. Pace car is in this time. It looks like Cody McCauley's going to elect to take the outside lane, give his teammate the bottom lane here to help him out here as they get ready to go back. Green flag races. We got on board with Dustin Stallings. Head down to turn 1. Cody McCauley, great start there. John Willett there, fight side by side with the young Hunter Hayward there, who's our fill-in driver here for tonight for Kip Easley. He's up in that. Oh, and he's going around. Yeah, that was a little bit optimistic for Hunter there, not going to lie. As we still have yet to get a yellow. I think the yellow there is going to come out as, yeah, yellow is now out here on the racetrack. But that was just a little too optimistic for Hunter there to clear that 29. And Preston was not going to let him in there.
Yeah, I can't say that I really saw anything wrong out of Hunter or
It's
Curtis.
50-50.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. If you're in this position, especially this early in the race, you're a little bit more lenient than that and let a guy slide in. I can understand that. 20 laps to go in this race, you're like, nah, man, you're gonna have to work for this. But pretty early in the race, just settle it out. Let him give him the space that he needs, and hope that he remembers that later in the race. Return the favor.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see there. And you can see the 25, Ryan B. really nowhere for him to go. Oh, Hayward here. Oh, and the 80. I believe that's the 60. Oh, what car is that exactly? Sorry, that's the Stephen Carey in the 4. Sorry, it is the 83, I believe, on his car, but he's actually the 4 car in the server. But yeah, it's unfortunate there. Hayward's going to lose all his track position now. Not too bad in damage wise, but yeah, a little early for that's like you said, Brandon. Like I don't consider what Curtis Preston right there. That was anything too malicious. I mean, his nose was kind of there, so I think this early you got to be kind of gracious and give. But at the same time, he could have given to Hayward. It's both of them kind of right there, just asking for a little too much, in my opinion.
As Denny Hamlin would say, that's just short track racing.
You know what? You hit the nail on the head.
Definitely.
Look at that though. Travis Everett though, he's actually took a lot of positions for this too. He's 12th to 5th, right behind him. Rudolph in the 42 is 10th to 6th.
Yeah, man, it's just taking a lot of advantages here for a lot of guys with these incidents. Like Michael Sheffield up 10. Uh, just so many opportunities here to one, make up positions, but two, get caught up in something and end up with a parking lot like we've seen before and lose a whole bunch.
As we are under our third caution tonight, brought to you by Or Nissan Central here at the RSR Cup Series. Remember, we only have 33% fuel too, Brandon, and like 33% fuel. I'm about to do a little bit of math here to just get the exact of that because that's it's a pretty interesting for it. So the check
Yeah,
here for that.
I've been sitting here trying to figure it out. I don't remember the last time that I ran Martinsville, and so I don't know right off the top of my head what you can get with a full fuel load. But 33%, I can't imagine they'd be able to go any more than about 60 laps, if that.
Yeah, look, do some math here. It's definitely going to be interesting, interesting number that they can make here. As I am clueless, so I know they have about 6.1 gallons. So the amount of laps they're going to be able to make, very interesting. I'm thinking around 43, 45, 50 laps at the most. Maybe 50 is what I'm thinking here, but we'll have to see. Tell you what, hard racing going on here as we're back. Green flag racing code. Oh, where is Macaulay? Oh, he is out there. He just disappeared from me, but he's back. He's got a nice little lead here already on this restart.
Yeah, taking advantage of that open track ahead of him here. We know Cody McCauley, he's really good at setting down those quick laps, but the limited amount of grip here, it's going to be helped by the fact that the sun is pretty much completely off the track now. So it's going to be cooling off quite a bit. They're going to have a little bit more grip. And hearing calls of a wreck in 3 and 4.
Yeah, thanks to Rusty Modesty here. Stopped in the corner, no caution. Yeah, he's backing up. Here comes the leaders. Oh, no, right in front of the lead pack. Oh, man. Oh, ooh. That could have been bad right there if the rest of that field
3 wide going into 1.
3 wide going in there with Rusty Modesty here now. Ooh. I believe we are having some type of issue here with the cautions being thrown too. So, we'll have to watch out for cautions here tonight as there's under green here still as we got to get to lap 45 for stage number 1.
Yeah, man, I am just very thankful. Oh, no.
Oh, there goes the 6.
Still going. Oof. And that's the danger. We haven't, the front of the field has not caught the lap down cars yet, the tail end of the field, but that's the danger. It was the 25 Orion Bean goes around.
Oh, man, off of 4.
Yellow.
And there is the yellow right here. And I believe that's a 4 caution tonight brought to you by Or Nissan Central, but I don't believe we may not be able to get these replays here because of our software with these being admin yellows here.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe there was just there's an issue with the servers themselves, or if there's an issue with the setup of the server from the admin side of things where the yellows are not triggering. Yeah, these every single caution that I have to be an admin thrown caution.
Oh, and you can see right there on the Freak Fast replay. Luckily, we were able to get this one here. Ryan Bean coming off forward, just losing the rear end. And tell you what, I rode with Bean a little bit actually in practice, and I noticed he was struggling a little bit with the application to put the power down. And it kind of seems like that was the problem there for that 25 as we were back under caution for our 4th time tonight.
Nose of the 29 here, and after having to check up to try to allow for John Willett to slow down for the car spinning ahead of him here. There's so much damage on the nose right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage there on the nose, and biggest thing you worry about is cooling when you get nose
Oh yeah.
damage. You know, that's gonna that's what we were talking about earlier at the ARCA race. We were talking about we don't care about the fenders and stuff, but we care about really just the engines. And cooling is a major part of engine, and it's just unfortunate to see a few drivers already caught here with some heavy damage. And I believe the 4800 Hayward, I believe he's on pit road. I think he's been on there ever since he got involved in that wreck, and he's looks like he may be done for the night as he's still sitting on pit road with that 48.
Yeah, might have had. For some reason, it seems like contact with the left front of the car will just hurt the engine so quick, and I believe he had some pretty heavy left front contact. So he may be having quite a bit of required repairs for engine damage there. And talking about the cooling, these cars don't run that fast at this track. They're still getting up to about 120 before they get down into the braking zone, but they rev out pretty high by the time they get to that braking zone, and doing that repetitively at this point where you're not really going all that fast doesn't give the car a chance to cool down. So if you get any damage on the nose, it's going to hurt that cooling process. You can run for a decent number of laps, but eventually that temp is just going to creep up a little bit more and more every lap until it just goes.
Unfortunate for a few drivers already getting caught up in big stuff. And we have a question on YouTube. Anybody know who won the ARCA race earlier? And I believe we can confirm it's Anthony Gaudio, right, Brendan?
Yes, it should be the 3 of Anthony Gaudio.
So congrats to him earlier on winning the ARCA race, as they had a little mishap coming to the final green, white, checkered, and had some scoring issues there. But looks like we're getting double file back up here. Cody McCauley leading the race, and tell you, he was out to a big lead with that 6 coming out right in front of those leaders right there with that wreck. So they had to check up big time. This lets them get right back to his back bumper before the end of the stage, as the pace cars are going to pull in this time. Electing again to take the outside lane here. Green flag back in the air. Cody McCauley's going to take off here, head down to turn 1. With teammate John Willett there in the second position. Curtis Preston going around with the front bumper. I believe the 93 of Dust Stalls. And then, from there, man, it's a huge pile up off of turn 2.
The parking lot strikes again.
That it does here. Martinsville, man, I tell you what, it's a tough racetrack. And with 38 race cars out on the racetrack, it's a tough place, man. I'm telling you, you can't hide anywhere when it seems like stuff. So unfortunate here to see our 5th caution night, brought to you by Orange Sun Central here before the stage. But it's just some short track racing. And I think that was definitely some contact, I believe, between the 93 of Dustin Stallings there and the 29 of Curtis Preston coming down the racetrack trying to get to that bottom lane.
Well, looking at it, the good news is, Zach, that the 48 of Hunter Hayward back on track. But I think a lot of it has to do with just, we talked about it being such a rhythm track. When you get these short runs like this, nobody's able to find their rhythm. Nobody's really able to see, how their lines compare to those around them, where their braking points are different. And it causes these situations where you have guys that maybe want to brake a little bit later. That's just how they're wanting to approach the corner, versus guys that they're trying to maybe back it up a little bit. And because you're not able to really race at pace with these guys very much, you can't tell that difference until it's too late and you're trying to lock up the brakes to avoid the contact. So I think if we can settle down and get a little bit of a longer run, once we get into that rhythm, it's going to be a much easier time for everybody.
Oh man, it's like you said, you gotta get going here, and once they get going, it'll be fine. It's just these continuous restarts. Restarts are a deadly time here at Martinsville, man. But I tell you what, the stage here at lap 45, we should get a restart here before it. But man, oh man, it could come to blows here before the stage would possibly.
I believe this should time itself out to be a green, white, checkered for the stage. I think is what the timing's looking like here.
Green, white checkers for the stage. That's something new. As I believe they are asking if this is the end of the stage. I don't think this will be the end of the stage. Because it is going to go to lap 45 here under caution. So it looks like they're going to be restarting this next time by, I believe.
Okay, getting the call now that this is going to be the stage.
Okay, so this is the stage. Okay. Interesting. Okay, well, I don't think we don't have time to talk to Cody McCauley now, but congrats to him on stage number 1 win here tonight. As we'll get ready to go back green flag racing here. The Martinsville Speedway stage 1 already in the books. As they will come off a 4 here. Cody McCauley going to lead. He's back to green flag out in the air. They take off 59. Travis Everett, great restart in that outside lane. He's going to be side by side. Rudolph into the back of the 81. John Willett, and they are wrecking again up here. Man, oh man. And that was teammate on teammate contact. That's never fun. Ooh, and 75 Michael Martino barely got stopped up top there. Oh, is they going to get spun around here? Ooh, gotta wait.
Well, this is telling me I don't think you want to be at the front of the pack, Zach.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm telling you, you definitely don't want to be at the front of the pack. I feel like right now, unless you're Cody McCauley, he's been on the restart, getting pretty clear and of everything. But man, Travis Everett, really nowhere for him to go. That is so unfortunate for that number 59. He drove his way all the way up to second through all these cautions, and now he's going to be all the way back.
Sometimes, a lot of times, really, it's just completely out of your hands, and you're just kind of at the mercy of everybody around you. I think Martinsville, one of the big examples of that. Travis Everett, unfortunately, like you said, nowhere to go there. Just kind of got caught up in somebody else's mess.
Man, oh man. Hit in pit road here as so it was confirmation that stage was last time, Brandon, over the radio, because
Stage was last time.
Okay, interesting here. So on lap 43 here, hitting pit road. So I believe the next stage won't be till lap 90 here. So Cody McCauley, stage 1 winner here. Congrats to him on that. As it's been a caution field race so far here at Martinsville, man. I tell you, this it's a tough track. And these guys are just going to have to get a few laps in. When you're on top of each other, you got to get a little bit spread out. I know you can't really get too spread out here at Martinsville, but the more laps you do, the better it gets off. You're not going to be side by side, through each corner like you are on the restarts. But it's just tough to get past that sometimes.
Yeah, it's the biggest hurdle is just getting single filed out and getting into the run. Once that happens, that's when you'll see those green flag runs there, where guys got a lot more time to kind of feel out how the car is, how the track is, and make their adjustments.
As it looks like most cars hit pit road. The interesting question is here is the cars who did hit pit road. I think Fitzpatrick not, Zabledil second, Little in third, Baldwin in fourth, Reed, who is now on pit road now, Curtis Preston is sixth, Beesinger in seventh. So it's jumbled up the lineup. I think McCauley is going to be all the way back to the 7th position, I believe, once we get going back green. And that's going to shake up the field, too, with a little bit of the speed difference here on tires and stuff. So be prepared here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame these guys for this call. I mean, you haven't really had to use up your tires any. The caution laps have really helped your fuel. So these guys can go quite a bit longer than right now. I think they're just going to be hoping that, maybe they can catch some well-timed cautions here to save a little bit more and try to make it to the end of this next stage. But with 33% on the fuel load, I think you're going to be hard-pressed to make it to the end of the next stage.
Well, pace car is in this time. Fitzpatrick in that 3 going to lead us back to green. He takes off in the middle of the turn, man. I'll tell you what, this is going to see how it shakes up down into 1 with these guys taking off like that. Looks like he'll have a great lead going down to the corner with Kevin Zabel doing that 2nd position as it fans out from there on back.
Oh, guys, trying to get single filed out. Looks like it's almost single file back to about the 7th position here.
Let's say Macaulay already up to the 4th position in that 62 machine. So he's using those tires to good advantage. Him and teammate Alex Rudolph cutting through the field. As Fitzpatrick still leading this race out front in the 3. With Zabladil second and Little in third as he's getting a little pressure from Macaulay as the XL4. He's going to be side by side as we got racing all throughout this field.
Well, Macaulay,
Yellow
he's...
flag is out.
Ooh, he's got another caution.
Looks like our 7th caution night. Big pile up in
No.
four. Looks like a big mess up here as I think it started around Ryan Bean, the 25 here. A little bit of contact, I believe, from the 6 of Rusty Modesty. And that's going to send the 25 of Ryan Bean and I believe the... Oh, sorry. What car is that? Miller. So Miller in the 28. Multiple cars here involved. Looks like John Willett, our pole setter, was able to squeak by Kevin Dowd in this 78 Kevin Sabilla. A lot of cars caught up in that wreck right there.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to go back through the field here and try to find anybody I can that doesn't look like they have any damage. So far, I don't think I've seen anybody.
Not one car. Does Macaulay have damage?
He might not. Okay. Yeah, the 17's looking pretty clean as well.
Yeah. Brandon's out here exaggerating. I think the 68 he's got a little bit of damage on that left rear, so he does have some damage. But yeah, early here, 51 laps, and definitely been a tough race to start here for these guys at the RSR Cup Series.
Just tough track, man. It's just it takes so much coordination. Running this close to these heavy braking zones. Just to not run each other over, and it just takes a lot of time to learn. Like we said, got to get into that rhythm, but you got to also give yourself the chance to be able to get into that rhythm.
I tell you what, the worst part about all of this for people like GT Irizarry and Matthew Rush, drivers who disconnected and had to get reconnected there and lost multiple laps in this race, is the fact that there's so many people now going laps down because they're getting caught up and stuff. They are behind a group of cars that are already one lap down, and there's not really been much they can do to get back farther up on that lead lap. So it might be a long day for that 14 and that 11 of GT Irizarry and Matthew Rush.
Yeah, and what really makes it worse is it was no fault of their own. They weren't caught in a wreck that put them laps down. And now it seems like with every caution we get, the opportunity for them to get back on the lead lap, like you said, it just kind of gets more and more out of reach. So hopefully we can catch a timely caution here where a lot of guys decide to try to pit earlier or something like that. A lot of guys can get a wave around and get back on the lead lap here and open up that lucky dog position for these guys.
Well, pace car lights are off. Looks like Bob Fitzpatrick here. Going to take the outside lane. Let Kevin Zabladil get there in that 17 on the bottom lane. As you have the 68 Andrew Little there in the 3rd position. There is Cody car on tires, followed by him, the 42 Alex Rudolph, the 88 Trevor Massetti, and the 93 of Dustin Stallings here as the pace car is in this time. And man, Fitzpatrick again, he's starting way in the middle of the corner, but he gets shot out of a cannon. And it's going to be side by side for that 2nd position now with Kevin Zabladil and Cody Macaulay.
Well, I mean, put some distance on the field and make them have to chase you back down. And the last 2 restarts, Bob Fitzpatrick has done a pretty good job of that.
Looks like Zabladil going to hold on to that 2nd position. Ooh, man, I tell you what, the 62 Macaulay, he's squeezed down in front of that 88. That could have been detrimental here as you look at the 17. Good run off the corner. That's going to let Macaulay get there. Oh, he's going to get almost to the rear bumper. Oh, and here goes the 17 around as he spins off of the exit of 4. And Oh, is
yellow,
anybody going to
yellow.
get collected? And that is going to bring out another caution here. So our 8th caution of the night, brought to you by Warning South Central here on lap 57.
And I don't think there was any contact there with the 17 and the 62. I think Kevin saw how hard the 62 was charging into the corner, got off the brakes just a little bit, and allowed himself to carry a little bit too much speed into the corner there. Unfortunate, especially considering Kevin did such a great job to lock it down and keep himself still and give everybody a chance to get around, and unfortunately got tagged in the left front as he was sitting there.
And just seeing a lot of little incidents, man, that get you caught up and stuff. And it's Martinsville is just playing out to be one of the races that is just going to be a tough one all night to get through it, to survive this thing. But you got to keep your head down. I know as a driver, this part here gets mentally almost frustrating, you know, as a driver. You get in that seat and you say, I just want to run laps. I'm tired of sitting here driving around the pace car. And you can get so off your game here in these situations that you get caught up in something next. So these drivers got to keep their head down, keep their focus, and know there's still a while to go in this race. We got to stay clean. We got to stay, you know, get myself in the best position I can to win this race, because, you know, at the end of the day, if we keep getting cautions, if you win this race, you still win the race. So that doesn't change anything.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things with short tracks, just that tiny little difference in the braking zone that we saw with the 62 and the 17. I wouldn't even consider it a mistake, but if you were to consider it a mistake, it's such a small mistake. But short tracks, small mistakes are huge mistakes, and it leads to situations just like that, and what we've seen throughout the race so far.
Looks like Fitzpatrick's still gonna be leading. I gotta say, I tell you what, he's done a good job here on these restarts to get way out there, and he's using the outside lane. He's doing something interesting. It's something that you couldn't do technically with NASCAR rules. You know, you'd have to wait to the restart zone, but it's something a lot of people utilize in iRacing here, as we don't have restart zones, to where when the pace car is in, you roll around that top and you just rip the top as fast as you can. You can get a really good start up there.
Yeah, it's almost like a dirt track start, is what that looks like to
Yeah,
me.
no, it actually does. That's exactly what it looks like. That's a good point, Brandon.
Yeah, and it's worked out very well. He's been able to pull out a huge gap here. Every restart, we'll have to see if Cody McCauley's going to let him get away with it again on this third restart here. But one thing I've noticed, Cody McCauley, it looks like he may be driving a little bit too hard, trying to get back up to the front. When he was charging his way through the field after he hit for the stage break, he was really losing the back end coming off the corners.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get everything. Fairly, I think it's kind of a smart move by him. He needs to get back out front. You know, I feel like the only place you can be safe is by controlling the restarts. I would not want to be in second or third, and that's where he's going to start now.
Well, we got teammate Alex Rudolph looking like he's going to roll off fourth here. Trevor Massetti in the 88 in third. Massetti's been hanging out right around that top five pretty much the whole race. Been doing a pretty good job staying out of stuff. Had a bit of contact with some other cars, but not anything too bad for himself.
Well, pace car is in. Bob Fitzpatrick still leading the race here on lap 62. He takes off on that outside lane. Great start for him. Cody McCauley on a slot into that second position. It's going to be side by side for the third with Trevor Massetti and Alex Rudolph here for that third position. Directly behind us, Nathan Campbell and Dustin Stallings.
Well, can we talk about the rebound for Stephen Baldwin in the 18, up to 7th right now? Ooh! A little bit of contact there with Stallings.
Yeah, Campbell in the grass, but I tell you what, this lead up here, it's getting spicy too. I tell you what, Fitzpatrick did not cut Cody any slack as he tried to dive to the inside. See if the run here down the back straightaway. What does he do with it? He looks to the inside here, going down into turn 3 here at Martinsville. Is going to get side by side through the center here, work off the exit. Side by side down the straightaway, give that lead back to McCauley as they head down to 1.
Yeah, and Bob Fitzpatrick left the door open and just kind of, stuck the nose back and tried to cross him over.
Yeah, almost crossed him over there. And definitely, a little close to the back bumper there too, as McCauley will try to get away here with Massetti now. And we're back under caution here. It looks like B. Singer, Preston, and Stephen Carey involved in this wreck here on lap number 66.
Have to go back and look and see what's happened here.
I believe the 23 was the first car around. Yeah, I think he got some contact from the 29 of Curtis Preston.
Yeah, just you know, we talked about it before that you try to get on the brakes heavy to avoid contact, but when you do, the car just won't. It will not turn anymore. Locked up the brakes, trying to avoid the contact, slid right up into the 23 to cause this incident.
Yeah, a little contact there between the 29 and 23. I tell you, that hurt the 29 too. It knocked his front end off. So Preston there getting the real short end of that stick there after that contact. And it looked like he was trying to dive in there to go to that inside lane behind Hayward there. But Hayward was checking up in front of him too with the 14 GT Rosari. So 29 darts to the right to miss him. And there's the 23 on the outside lane, nowhere he could go. And we are back under for our 9th caution of the night.
Well, and Curtis Preston is elected to take that thing behind the fence and pack it in for the day. So our third place man in points tonight out here at Martinsville.
Unfortunate seed Pastors Championship. Unfortunately, unable to complete tonight's race in that 29 machine.
Now, Zach, looking at the 3 of Bob Fitzpatrick, now that you've lost the lead, being off sequence on your pit stop like this, do you just continue to stay out, or do you take this opportunity now to come in and pit?
Well, you know, I didn't think he'd be able to make it this far, but with the amount of caution laps we've had, he's going to be able to make it almost to 100, I believe, by that point. So, I mean, if it goes green here, he'll definitely have to be considering a pit stop, I think, in the next 20 to 30 laps. But at the moment right now, I think you ride it out and try to get to almost not the end of the state. That's what he's going to have to try to, because I don't think you're going to see guys pit till the next end of that state. I really don't see guys pitting, because I would not put myself back in the back. You know, that's one thing about Martinsville. I've ran so many races at this racetrack where, you know, the same exact thing that's happening is going on right now. Just continuous caution after caution, and you never, ever want to put yourself past 10th, in my opinion. When you go back from 10th and you get back in that, you're just asking to to not make it through. So it's definitely something back in my mind. I tell you, when I get to see races like this, I almost pull the Bob Fitzpatrick strategy where I'm going to stay out until I have to pit.
And I've seen it play out, and it's a really good strategy for short tracks especially, but you know, I've been in races at Phoenix where guys just kind of chain, like they just stay out and stay on old tires, and it works out really well, and it seems like it's working out pretty well for Bob Fitzpatrick. We saw it work out in the ARCA race with Josh Holmes. It worked out spectacularly for the 000, so it is definitely a valid strategy.
It looks like we're getting double file back here. You're going to go green flag racing as the base car's in. And Cody McCauley will take back off. Here's his ride on Bob Fitzpatrick here. He's going to get passed by the 42. Alex Rudolph heading down to 1. He's going to slide in behind that 42. Is, ooh. Tell you what, the 38 James Courtney almost a little deep in there. So we 3 wide off of 2. And I believe they may be stacking up off of 2 back here in the pack around the 20th position here. Looks like a lot of stack ups here as we head through 3 wide. Hayward going through the middle of that 48 machine. You're seeing a lot of cars here racing side by side here, trying to get through this field.
It looks like we're all single filed out back to about 11th or 12th now.
Oh, the 17 to the inside of the 55, Adam Buzzio. That was almost trouble there, I tell you that.
Michael Martino battling with the 27 of Marc-Andre Thibodeau back here in the 17th, 18th position.
Lap 73 here. Out front still Cody McCauley here, side-by-side racing between Kevin Zabaldil and the 55 Adam Buzzio. They're racing for the 16th position right now. Is actually is Zabaldil racing for that position? I don't see him on the score.
He is 26th. I believe is at least 1 lap down.
He's 1 lap down at 17. Yeah.
Directly behind him, Ryan Bean. Those two are battling for position.
directly in front of them is GT Zari here as we ride on board with that buzzer. You can see the battles ensuing in front of him. It's some Sunday traffic here, man. I'll tell you that, and it definitely isn't easy.
Yeah, it's some LA traffic out here tonight.
They are definitely in for it here because I tell you that's the thing with this many cars, man. The leaders should catch the back of the field here within, I'd say, the next 10 to 15 laps. I mean, McCauley's already going into the middle of 1 and 2 back here. We got Kevin Ruff here. He's in 9th, just entering 1. So it's definitely interesting to see here so far how spread out it's already got. And I tell you what, we could be in store here for a green flag run. And I tell you that doesn't play out well for us, Fitzpatrick.
It really does not. He really needs those caution laps, especially considering he is not hit at all this race. So he's still on his first set of tires. His first bit of fuel that they put in the car. I'm getting calls that 18 Stephen Baldwin's coming into pit. Bob Fitzpatrick cannot be too much farther behind him here.
I just got a little chuckle out there. We got a good little joke out here from Justin Bowles. He says, we need to give these drivers a Snickers. They're a bit hungry and they're not themselves right now. that was pretty good. He says it was a bad joke. Oh, it was actually, here it is, our 10th caution of the night. But, man, oh man, that was a good joke, Brandon. Or Justin. Brandon. It's Brandon's friend, so I'm sorry, Brandon.
I'm
Justin,
sure I'm going to get a message about that later. They laugh at me.
Oh, Macaulay. I don't like that call. How many people come down? Fitzpatrick came with him here. Not many else, though. Oh, man. Yeah, nobody else. That right there, wrong call.
Yeah, we saw how much Cody was struggling to really get through traffic before. And I wouldn't say struggling, how much he was being aggressive to get through and really fighting the back end of the car, trying to get the power down. Now, with this many people that he's going to have to try to pass, this might be a world of trouble for that 62, Zach.
Man, I see the thought process to get tired because you had like a decent little green flag little stint there, but I understand Fitzpatrick, he kind of had to come down. He hadn't pit yet, but 6-2 of Macaulay, I think that's I don't want to say a terrible call, but that's a terrible call.
I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to think of any strategy that he could be trying to play. But I think just because we're not in the final stage yet, everything's going to get reset with this next stage caution when everybody else is going to come into pit. So I don't know why you wouldn't wait at that point, knowing that I would imagine they're going to have to make another pit stop after this next stage, Zach.
And I tell you what, it's interesting because, like you said, lap 90, next stage. It's just really, really interesting. Hold on, is that true?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I could get confused.
Robert's just saying things.
I don't know what to believe anymore. As we're under here, it looks like get back on the lead lap here. Is he? I believe so. Yes, Thibodeau will. Yes, he will. So 27 back on the lead lap for himself into the 25th position. Congrats to him on that. My thing too is Brandon at lap 90. I'm not pitting under stage either. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm staying out. I'm staying out till the fuel runs dry because I'm telling you, this is a pattern in Martinsville that it just gets to, and I don't want to put myself back in that hornet's nest, man. It's so dangerous. And Colley's gonna restart in the 19th position.
And honestly, I don't even think it's just back in the field. We've seen quite a few guys get taken out from the 3rd and 4th position. So if you're not in that front row, it's a war zone out there.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. Pace car is in. And we'll see Trevor Massetti here lead us back to green. He's going to elect to take that outside lane as that's become
Green
that
flag,
new
green
lane
flag.
everybody's wanting to take. Here's he fires down the front straightaway as we're back under green.
Yeah, I noticed it with Cody McCauley's restart electing to take the outside that Bob Fitzpatrick may have messed up and showed these guys some things.
Yeah, I tell you what, that outside lane, controlling it from there is a very good spot. It definitely is a good spot to control. You definitely don't, if you don't have the control, you don't like it too much, but when you have control, it's pretty nice there. As you can see side by side there, Nathan Campbell and that 52 battling with, I believe that's James Coburn, the 38, who, or no, Dustin Stallings, there, starting 93, who slides himself back up into that fourth position here. As I tell you what, last side by side racing here, and that's the thing. Right after green, we got some cars dodging and diving, and I think, but look, you see McCauley, he's right in the mix of it there in that yellow and white car on the bottom lane.
Yep, the Hornets nest back there, man. Don't want to get stung.
It definitely is. Here's you look at McCauley here trying to navigate his way through. He's got GT Rosari here, multiple laps down in front of him. Also got some cars damaged there directly in front of him. He goes by Michael Martino in that 75 machine here. He continues to march his way up through right now as we got some good racing going on. Ooh, is Hayden right to the back bumper. Adam Buzzio here with John Willett there on the outside in 81 working that groove. Looks like he's back up to that 14th position after his incident.
A lot of guys able to rebound pretty well after getting caught up in early wrecks.
Gonna have Willett here jump to the outside of Travis Everett here, trying to make a good run off the floor, but Everett's gonna get the good run off the bottom lane here, and they're on lap 90, so it should be white flag for stage number 2. I think McCauley saved it here. He'll cross the line here, and Trevor Massetti is going to be your stage 2 at Martinsville Speedway.
See how far of a gap he had pulled out on the 42?
Yeah, I mean 2.1 seconds, man. He was I think the 88 might have showed a little bit of his hand.
I think so.
As that's our 11th caution, not this time brought out by an incident though. So 11th caution night, stage caution here. Brought to you by Or Nissan Central. So congrats to Trevor Massetti on winning stage number 2. We'll see if he elects to hit pit road. I'm telling you right now, I just don't think he should.
We saw how well it worked out for Bob Fitzpatrick. You can go.
They're doing it.
Quite a while. Yeah, he's coming in.
Yeah, I mean, if everybody's gonna come, you might as well do it. So I mean, Trevor Massetti, it's gonna work out all right for him here. It's still gonna work out decent. Who's really gonna like this is Cody McCauley, who got, he's gonna get free track position here now that he made that pick.
And this should allow for quite a few people to elect for the waiver round this time, I believe.
I believe so. I mean, if they're ahead of McCauley or whoever else stayed out, they'll be fine. But if not, they're behind some lead lap cars, and it will be an issue. So I'll have to see if that shakes out for them. But looks like Massetti will win the race off pit road here. As you remember, this is their second set they've taken of the 4 they had in pit road. So now 2 sets left here with under 100 laps to go here at Martinsville.
Well, we've seen so far that they haven't really had to use too much of any set that they've had. But I think now that little bit of taste of green flag run that we just had here before the end of the stage is going to allow a lot of these guys to kind of find that rhythm we were talking about, where they need to do with the car. I really anticipate seeing a green flag run here, Zach.
I'm telling you, it happens at some point in Martinsville. It usually always happens, and it's when you least expect it. So I'm telling you what, it's definitely going to be, at some point, there will be a decent run. I almost guarantee it happens here at Martinsville all the time.
Well, before we go back here, let's pull down Trevor Massetti here and see what his thoughts are on the race so far and his stage win.
Let's see where he is at. As how many laps do we have to green here? Because trying to, yeah, there it is. All right, we'll move him down. All right, here's Trevor Massetti.
Hey, Trevor, it's Brandon up in the booth, bud. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Well, man, it's been an up and down race for a lot of guys so far today, but you've managed to keep yourself right in that top 5. How's the racing been out there? How's your car feeling?
It's been interesting. I mean, there's obviously a lot of cautions and stuff that don't like to see, but that's just the way it goes, I guess. It's short tracks and a lot of different levels of driving, and yeah, I mean, cars feel good though. It seems like we're doing all right, hanging with everybody. So
Well, bud, congrats on that stage win. We'll let you get back down here to take green, and wish you the best of luck. Hopefully, we'll talk to you at the end of this thing.
thanks, guys.
All right, that was Trevor Massetti, your stage 2 winner. Now Cody McCauley going to have that lead. As him and Fitzpatrick now have used that strategy there to jump back to this lead here. So great call by them, as I called it a terrible one. So what do I know?
Green,
As
green, green.
his car's going to put off the track, and we have the green flag as McCauley leads us down to turn 1. Massetti, great start on that outside lane. Winner of stage 2. He's going to clear Fitzpatrick as they head off of 2, and he's going to have second.
Well, you got to think they've pit a little bit before the rest of these guys for the stage, but they did have a decent number of green flag laps on their tires. So Trevor Massetti, Alex Rudolph, they're really going to have an advantage here, over the next 5 to 10 laps once their tires really get up to temp.
Yeah, I think it'll be a slight advantage. If anything, I don't think it's going to be like a gigantic advantage because, these guys were not out here running, the fastest laps. They were probably stuck in traffic, running pretty, slow. And also that stage caution there right immediately after they pit to cool them tires down was a nice period, I'm sure. But I'm sure at some point you're going to see that difference.
And with how hard it is to pass here, it's not going to be...
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
So we got a caution. Oh, it's a junkyard.
Holy moly. Guys, it looks like we're in our 12th caution tonight here, brought to you by Orny Sun Central. So, looks like trying to figure out exactly what happened there. Sorry, I got a little distracted by something, but looks like Brandon, you know exactly where I started there. Sorry, my dog was pretty crazy.
I'm not quite sure. I just heard a lot of calls and then cycled back to see what was going on, and there was mayhem.
So a mayhem here on lap 100.
I believe it started with the 38. Oh, it was the 38 and the 21. James Courtroan and David Hall. It looks like David Hall just went into the corner and got into the left rear slightly of the 38 machine, sent him around, then it just kind of stacked up from there.
Parking lots here at Martinsville have been very frequent. So
I tell you, if I'm a parking attendant that got hired for tonight's race, I am quitting my job.
Oh man. Did these guys elect? They're kind of acting like they were electing to hit pit road, but I think it's just to let the lucky dog 2 by, but also just keep it close. As right now under our 12th caution of the night.
Well, Zach, I think perfect time to do our mid-race recap here.
True. I forgot.
Yeah. Well, under our 12th caution, 10th for on-track incidents, 2 for the stage. Stage 1 winner was Cody McCall. Stage 2 winner, the 88 of Trevor Massetti. And had quite a few bent-up cars here, but not really anybody out of the race. Had some guys multiple laps down due to connection issues, but back on track now. And I believe we've only got 2 cars out of the race, one being 29 of Curtis Preston and the 78 of Kevin Sevilla. Hunter Hayward, the worst of the drivers on track right now after a big incident early, 18 laps down in 35th position.
As it looks like should be going back to the pace car lights off. here this next time by, I believe. And yeah, I think McCauley's going to elect to take that top groove again here, as that's been the place to definitely restart so far.
Yeah, ever since they saw Bob Fitzpatrick running that line on the restarts, everybody's elected to start there, and it's worked out very well.
Yes, it has worked out very well for this field. Restarting on that top lane for that leader. It's been a great launch off that top, leading down to turn one. And it gets you clear of everything. I think that's the biggest point. Is like it gets you so clear of everything else that if anything happens, you should be good.
Now, if Trevor Massetti can time this restart and hang with the 62, that's when I think the advantage of these fresher tires are going to be come into play.
We'll see here as they get ready. Green flag back in the air. 88 or the 62 of Cody McCauley leads us down the corner with Trevor Massetti there on that bottom lane. Oh, the 68 gets in the back of Fitzpatrick. That's going to send him around there. And that's going to be another caution here for caution number 13 here on 106, brought to you by Or Nissan Central here with a wreck up here in the top 5. It looks like a little contact between Andrew Little and Bob Fitzpatrick in the 3 car.
Yeah, just a little bit of underbraking on the corner there. Man, that's really unfortunate for Bob Fitzpatrick. He looked like he had a pretty decent strategy here to cycle himself back up to the front. It was just going to be a matter of if it happened to cycle out at the right time. But unfortunately, kind of set him back in the pack now, is after that caution going to be rolling out in 23rd.
Yeah, looking back here, fast replay going down to 1-0 on the 68 right to the back of the 3. 3 tries to save it here. You see him, he's sideways. He probably has that thing corrected right, and then look. Oh, and then the rear end is just going to kick around sideways more and more. 68 really in order for him to go after getting up high there. And yeah, it's going to bring out our 13th caution of the night there at Martinsville. I tell you, we're under the lights now. It's definitely some action out here on Tuesday night here at the Martinsville Speedway.
Is it a full moon?
I definitely think so. I think behind one of those clouds up there in the sky, that is the moon. You know, that was always a funny thing. It seemed like every time the full moon was out in, racing, it always seemed to have some type of effect. I don't know why, but it always seemed to. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if there's a full moon out there somewhere tonight. iRacing should start simulating that.
Yeah, the full moon.
They simulate the sun pretty well because that thing will blind you of a lot of tracks. I've noticed that lately that I have been getting blinded by the sun at a bunch of tracks.
Yeah, it's something that I've been suggesting. I think over a couple of broadcasts I brought it up too about getting those different windshield visors, seeing if we can have something like that added before too long for that sun when it starts to peek down behind the grandstands.
I believe the pace car should turn its lights off this time. I think it should be getting back double file here to rack them back up and get a restart here. I believe as the pace car across the line this time. Let's see if those lights go off. And they are. So Cody McCauley electing back to the outside line. We're going to double file back up here and get a restart here on lap 111. Michael Fortino, I gotta add this to the commentary. He says Rus Fraba.
No idea what that means.
You ever seen that movie? Okay, never mind. Anger management. But looks like we'll go back green here. If anybody else gets that, then you can laugh too. Here it is. Green flag back in the air. Cody McCauley's going to lead us back here. Look at Rudolph. Great restart for him. Almost to the back. Had to lock that left front up there not to get into him. It's a great job of him not getting into that 42 here as they head down the back straight with the 62 leading the 42 and the 88.
That tells me Alex Rudolph, that was a bold move out of that 42. I think he feels like he has something for his teammate, Cody McCauley up here, if he can just get to him, and he's got the laps to try to make his move.
I tell you what, we're seeing some good runs out of drivers that haven't had great runs this season so far. I think that's what this mayhem has shook up. I mean, look at Rudolph. He's had good runs, just I don't think he's had the finishes to back up what his runs have been. Zabladil here in the 17. Kevin, he's running the 4th, 21st to 4th. Great runs for him tonight so far. 26th to 5th for Daniel Gonzalez there in the 5th position. Dustin Stallings, he's not had the greatest of luck so far this season. He's running in 6th. Nathan Campbell, David Hall in 8th. Harold Watkins in 9th. It's letting a lot of guys that I feel like haven't had the runs that they've deserved kind of missed a little bit of this mayhem, and they are surviving through this thing, man. Who are we riding on board with? Harold Watkins, I believe. Looks like he may have tested that safer barrier down there in 1 and 2.
Yeah, it looked like he was following Travis Everett into turn, I believe it was turn 1, and I think just carried a little bit too much speed to avoid getting in the back of that 59, had to take it up towards the fence. Great job saving that thing and not plowing into it.
Right on board with him here. Directly in front of him is the 12, Craig Burns. I tell you, there's a wreck on the back straightaway. Oh, and it's a parking lot.
No.
The 28 of Junior Miller, around 83 of Stephen Carey, or the 4, sorry, Stephen Carey, and the 48 of Hunter Hayward there as he gets sent around, and he's going to bring that thing back to pit road.
Well, I talked about, not wanting Martinsville to be the track that I debuted at. I think Hunter Hayward's going to have to agree with me after this one.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. It looks like the contact ahead of them was Andre Thibodeau and Junior Miller there. You see Thibodeau with the yellow car hurting. Oh, Hayward, nowhere for him to go, trying to squeak by. Oh, and just carnage from there. Multiple cars involved. Look at his car on the inside lane squeaking by there. That's very nice. It looks like a few cars bringing them back to the garage here, and it's been carnage here at Martinsville so far. Thank you everybody for tuning in so far over Ricky Fast Broadcasting. It's been a wild one, that's for sure, here at the Martinsville Speedway. But some, I think we could make a good compilation video of Rex here tonight, Brandon, at Martinsville.
Absolutely. I mean, man, it's one of those races, man. Short tracks, it can either be really good or it never seems to go right.
It never plays out right sometimes, man. It seems like you can never get going, and I feel like that's what leads to a lot of wrecks. Is you get so wound up in riding around that, like, when you get released, it's like, I gotta go, and you really don't have to, but it's so easy to do that when you're in the driver's seat. It's so easy to do here, and I think that's what iRacing represents so good. Is you see something like this in real NASCAR, and that it's kind of similar. You keep ramping up at the end of the races when you get yellows, and people just keep piling in. So it's definitely a good simulation, if anything, right?
Yeah, it absolutely is, man. It sucks because I think anyone who's ever been a part of the iRacing sim, or not even specifically just iRacing, anything NASCAR, any type of NASCAR racing, you've experienced races like this, and it's not really anything negative against the guys that are in it, but it happens. Short track racing is hard to do, and sometimes there's just races where it seems like everybody's kind of had about 6 drinks before we came in, and they're just all over the place, when really it's not anything major. It's just tiny little things that cause big problems.
Yeah, tiny things turn into big things here at Martinsville. Like you said, not wide. The track's just not wide. Looks like Hunter Hayward is also going to bring it behind the wall. So multiple drivers starting to bring these cars behind the wall and call it a night here at the RSR Cup Series at round number 7 here at Martinsville. Tell you, he's not giving up yet. It's Cody McCall in the 62. He's been pretty well off up here up front right now, and looking good. That 62 machine. See if he can pull himself off his first victory of the season too. I believe actually that would be if he won here tonight. Gotta look that up here again. It would be his first win this season, so no win right yet, but he's been very dominant in the stages and points so far. As we are going back, green Cody McCauley's going to lead us off the turn with his teammate Alex Rudolph in that second position.
Yeah, Alex Rudolph was trying to time it. Cody waited just long enough. You saw the 17 of Kevin Zapplin just kind of pushing him along here, trying to make sure he went right with him.
I tell you what, time's running out here at Martinsville. Oh no, little contact with Kevin Zapplin to 88 Trevor Mercedes. They keep it going.
Oh, Gonzo.
No. Gonzo gets into the rear of the 93 Dustin Stallings, and that's going to bring out another caution here tonight. That's our 15th of the season here on lap 124.
Well, while we're under this caution, I believe during the last one, Robert, there was information about our follower count.
Oh yeah, true. 1,800 followers, Brandon. Wow. So thank you everybody for making that. It's all up to you fans out there tuning in here every week and giving us the follows and shares and likes and stuff that gets us out there to more folks out there on the interwebs. So thank you for the 1,800.
Greatly appreciate every single one.
That's right. Every follow is the same.
We love you.
So looks completed 125 here, Brandon. So we got 50, or no, sorry, not 50. Oh man, that would been bad, man. It came out of my mouth and I was like, nope, reverse. But, okay, 45. So it's getting down to the point where I think I'm kind of surprised nobody else is pitted again, because I'm telling you, if they would have got within the window to make it to the end, I would have pitted.
I think so as well. If everyone else is going to have to, the second you know that you're good, come in and try to pull the strategy that Cody McCauley and Bob Fitzpatrick were, where you cycle back to the front at the right time. Especially, at a track like this where, not even a track like this, but a race like this where it's tended to have quite a bit more cautions than you want. You can't really make up the positions battling under green flag. You have to try to figure out a way to make those passes under yellow, and it was working out very well. It still worked out very well for Cody McCauley. Unfortunately, not so much the 3 of Bob Fitzpatrick, but I'm surprised that we haven't seen anybody else really try that.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see who's going to be the driver to pull something like that here, as I think you're going to have the opportunities. I mean, I know these guys are getting great fuel mileage under these caution laps, but I don't see them being able to stretch it with these caution laps to the end.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty tall order to do that. They're going to have to be clutching it more than not around here under caution, almost getting pushed by the car behind them at times.
Oh man, I think McCauley here, as the lights go out, will take again the top lane. Let's teammate of Alex Rudolph there get that bottom lane with Trevor Mercedes again restarting in the 3rd position. Kevin Zabel doing 4th, and Nathan Campbell in 5th with Daniel Gonzalez 6th, Kevin Ruff 7th, Justin Stallings 8th, Travis Everett 9th, and Michael Sheffield in the 10th position.
Well, Zach, with Trevor Mercedes still sitting up here in 3rd, I think if we can string together that long run, we saw how fast he was before the 2nd stage caution. If we get that green flag run, I think that 88 might be the car to beat. He was pretty fast.
He's got a shot here as the green flag comes back out. Cody McCauley getting a great restart there. Not as good as the other ones, but I think guys are starting to time that a little bit better here. As up front, it's 1, 2, 3 here on the bumpers, and these guys are going at it again here at Martinsville.
little bit of bumping back here from the 112 cover up on the 17. Kevin's Hamlin.
Yeah, I think it's not getting like nobody's getting too urgent about this, but I think it is starting to get to that point where guys understand this is getting near the end of this race. These laps can click off very quickly. And I tell you what, if we go green here, it could be interesting too to see, if we went green here to the end, who would make it on fuel and who wouldn't.
Yeah, if you've had the foresight to be thinking about your fuel since the last time you hit the stage, I think you've got a decent chance at it. But some of these guys, Cody McCauley especially, because they cycled out after trying that strategy. He's definitely, I think, going to be short sack. I don't think he can make it to the end here if we go green.
Yeah, if we go green, definitely not making it to in there, in my opinion. We'll just have to see if anybody elected to come down, and top off that car and get some pretty good fuel and to be able to make it to the end here. Is the 13. Tony Ludy here racing Craig Burns. Ooh, look at that car up in the high lane there. I believe that is the 54 of Anthony Younes.
Big old wad of cards back here.
Got Michael Martino directly ahead of him in that 75 in the 21st
Ooh,
position.
right ahead of them.
Yellow.
Steve involved there is going to be our 16th caution of this evening. Brought to you by Nissan Central.
And that was just a little bit of a bump, center off from 21 of David Hall on the 18 to send him around.
Yeah, a little bit of a bump there. And I tell you what, there's going to be some cars that need to go to Nissan Central after this race and get worked on. I don't know if they're going to be passing inspection too well, Brandon.
I gotta tell you, looking at Craig Burns directly behind the 21 at David Hall, his car's looking remarkably clean. A little wrinkle on the right front, but that thing looks pretty sharp still.
I'll tell you what, for being one lap down, that's pretty good. He's going to get the lucky dog here too, Brandon.
And unfortunate for GT, he's 3 laps down now, but he's still got quite a few cars ahead of him that are 1 lap down, and the 38 now ahead of him that's 2 laps down. So it does not seem like GT is going to be able to get back on the lead lap here.
I tell you, that's a long night. It's so unfortunate. Him and Matthew Rush, I believe, were the 2 drivers that suffered from that. Not sure if any other driver suffered from that, but man, that's a long night. And I tell you what, his car's pretty decently clean other than that.
Yeah, I mean, not really able to get up here and race for position or race for the lead, but keeping that Mustang weak, Ford Mustang, pretty clean here, running around, scraping by positions. He has picked up quite a few positions from where he was at the start of this race, just due to the nature of guys wrecking out and keep plucking away at it. But obviously not the race you want to have, especially with the circumstances of this particular race. But all the points matter, and I'm sure he's thinking about that in the long run.
Every point counts, and we were just looking at a 34 Nolan Potter there. He's had a kind of quiet night last week's winner. He had a great race last week to pull off that victory in that 34. He's had kind of a quiet night there in that 34, right there in the 12th position. Started 18th, kind of kept himself, to his own P's and Q's really tonight mostly.
Yeah, not really anything spectacular, but we haven't seen him flipping upside down or really pinched up against the fence. Got quite a bit of damage, but I think that's not really anything out of the ordinary for any of these cars around here right now.
Well,
I think guys at the fab shop should be getting a raise after tonight's race.
Yeah, I would hate to be like a fabrication guy after like a Martinsville road course race or something like that, because man, I'm telling you what, these Cup cars, they love to beat and bang at places like this and road courses. So tough position to be in if you're a fabrication guy. But I tell you what, tough position is going to be right here. Is Cody McCauley restart on the outside here with the pace car in. We're going back green flag racing. McCauley going to lead us down to one. Rudolph in that second position with Massetti and Zabaldil fighting for third down there.
Now that front four has not changed in quite a while now. That starting order has been the exact. Oh, the 17 just got.
Oh, Massetti saved. Oh no! Can he
Wow,
save it?
what a save!
Okay, that is the save of the season. I don't know how he saved that.
I'm gonna have to go back and see what happened there to have the 17 just sail off into the corner like that.
I believe it was the 84 Daniel Gonzalez there.
Yellow,
Oh,
yellow,
actually,
yellow.
no. Oh, so we are under caution here. No contact, but I think the 17 was trying to cover off Daniel Gonzalez, and he got in there, but we are under caution for our 17th time tonight, brought to you by Orange Sound Central. Trying to figure out exactly what happened here, as I believe it was the 68 Andrew Little and the 23 of Chad Biesinger involved with the 17th caution of the night.
Oh, the 23 across the nose of John Willett and the 81 up into Andrew Little. Unfortunately, nowhere to go for the 68.
Tell you what, tonight could be a interesting shakeup in points too. A lot of drivers having trouble. I mean, Dylan Reed, Curtis Preston are second and third place man in points. Both having major trouble tonight, with those truck cars. John Willett there, he started on the pole, but he's kind of been involved in both wins. This GT had to disconnect. Travis Everett involved in an incident. Trevor Massetti, he's had a good night, but there he just had to have the save of his life. Ryan Bean in incidents, Kevin Ruff. I'm looking at Kevin right here, right now, 112. I mean, we've had multiple of these drivers involved in major stuff so far.
And our points leader, Cody McCauley, been up front and been in the back, and somehow has avoided really everything so far.
He's got a force field or something. He's got some Star Trek, Star Wars technology on that car or something. He might have SpaceX on there. They got some new force fields or something they designed. I don't know. But
well, his best friend right now has got to be the 42 directly behind him, because he's going to have a lot of confidence that his teammate is not going to go barreling in there and take him out. I mean, unless something really shakes up to where he has to pit and finds himself in the back again, he's been able to stay out of trouble and keep it pretty clean up at the front here. He's had a little bit of contact and wrinkled the right front a little bit, but comparatively to really everybody else, his car is almost pristine.
pretty much, yeah, it's pretty much pristine. And I mean, I'd say, like you said, he doesn't have to worry about Rudolph too much in that 42. But, going back, I think Rudolph was the one who spun John Willett, their other teammates. So, mistakes happen. And I'll tell you what, it's definitely interesting there as you're looking at Kevin Giadrasic in position right now. This 9 car is, I think his number's flipped over wrong. I don't know what's up with that. But,
yeah.
But he's had a quiet night.
Kevin, flip the sticker on the roof.
I tell you, I think he's had a pretty quiet night here. It doesn't look too much damage on the car, but I personally would take a quiet night at this racetrack.
The fact that I can't remember any of us saying his name up until this point means he's had an extremely quiet night. But
it was Sheffield in the one right there.
And Michael Sheffield, I forgot he was even in this race.
I know, right? Hadn't got caught up in most things. He looks clean to me, but pace car's in. We're going to be coming to 23 to go. That's how fast it all clicks off here at Martinsville. 23 to go. Green flag back in here. Cody McCauley going to lead us back down to turn 1 here with Alex Rudolph in that second position. Oh, Daniel Gonzalez sliding up into third. What a run for him in that 84 as he stacks up from there on back.
Yeah, let's give a shout out. Daniel Gonzalez up to third place right now. Having a really good run in that 84 machine.
I tell you what, it's getting stacked up here. I've seen a few little checkups here and there between drivers, and an accordion effect. You bump the guy in front of you, and then the guy behind you bumps, and it's that's what leads to incidents. So We got to watch out here with 22 to go. What's going on here is looks like Sheffield, they're going to get down into that 8th position behind Kevin Jaddersich here as they continue on here, single file.
And I think what we've seen happen quite a bit is somebody bumping somebody else, then getting bumped, and get meat getting shot out of the sandwich. That's what's caused a lot of those problems.
Coming 20 to go here. Cody McCauley takes that. 20 to go. And oh, there's the mix of Rusty Modesty. And that is going to bring out our 18th caution of the night here off of turn 4. And I have multiple cars involved in this. You had the 4 of Stephen Carey, the 38 of James Courtroan, and the 18th of Stephen Baldwin. All involved in this incident here off of 4 as the 6. I'm not sure exactly what happened to him there. He might have got a little bit of help. Yeah, he got a little bit of help from the 3 of Bob Fitzpatrick. And nowhere to go.
I was confused because there was another wreck right up ahead of them with I believe, Nolan Potter in the 34.
Wow, I tell you what, yeah, the multiple cars, multiple different instances there happened. Yeah, there was an incident down with Dustin Stallings and the 34 Nolan Potter down into 1. So, yeah, it's interesting to see, man. I tell you what, this track is definitely tearing up some race cars tonight here with 18 to go.
Hey, Zach. McCauley's on pit road.
Whoa.
Might be too late.
Okay. Maybe he's not confident in the fuel. When is Rudolph pit?
I don't know, but I think this is too late.
Oh.
I can't imagine anybody else is gonna pit. I think you have to run it dry at this point.
He does that. I don't think he could have made it, Brandon. I think that's the only reason. That's the only reason I would pit. And so these guys who have 10 laps more fuel, I think they can make it.
Yeah, I think I would have had to have made that decision to be absolutely dedicated to the strategy quite a while ago. I think at this point it's just too late to drive back through the field. Granted, he's only in 22nd, but it's not only going to be green flag laps, so you're going to get stuck in the position you're at for a little while with the the cautions we've seen here, which is looking like it's probably going to trend that same way to finish this race out. And that's the other risk that Robert's pointing out in the background, that he's pretty big danger of getting caught in something here.
Yeah, especially with it's gonna be 15 to go, 14 to go once we get going green. And yeah, I tell you what, if he can get back in position with that, I will be very impressed. But we're gonna have a heck of a race on our hands now with the 42 leading this race, the 84 Daniel Gonzalez up in the second. So shout out to Gonzo. What a run he's having. And I tell you, that's what Martinsville can do. You can shake up lineups and give drivers a shot. That's something they haven't had all season.
And look who's still sitting, well, not still, but back up in the 3rd place.
Yeah, I know, right? You also got
And
Kevin
Sheffield-
Ruff in the 112. I think he was in the first caution was Kevin Ruff in this race. He's up the 4th. So a lot of rebounds here for a few guys. And I tell you what, with 15 to go, it's about to get pretty interesting here. So we'll be 14 to go once we take the green.
Yeah, and Sheffield up to 6th right now. So great rebound for him.
That it has been. We're going to ride here with the 42, Alex Rudolph. As he takes off, takes the green flag. Great restart from him. He's going to really left the 84 down because I was sleeping his. Oh, Gonzo sliding up the racetrack a little bit behind this. And he is going to be side by side with the 112 and the 88 Trevor Mercedes trying to get past Kevin Ruff now as they head to 3.
I was really surprised by how deep Daniel Gonzalez went into that set of corners, but it stuck.
That
Watched him just a little bit, but I expected him to completely knock the driver's side door off the 112 there.
And we'll be 3rd. We go now. 88 past the 112 of Kevin Ruff. Can he charge forward and catch that 42 possibly here, as we're having some
Yellow,
incidents
yellow,
here
yellow.
off the exit of 4, and there's going to be our caution. And I tell you what, 21 David Hall sent around there. 19th caution in the evening here with 12 to go. Rudolph sitting in a good spot.
And Cody McCauley only made up 1 position.
That's a traffic
And nose damage.
Yeah. Traffic jam on a Martinsville night.
That's what it's going to look like when everybody's trying to leave.
Yeah. Trust me, I've been at Martinsville, and there's a traffic jam when you leave the racetrack. I've seen people wrecking ditches, all types of stuff. It's pretty crazy. That's actually almost more entertaining than the racing sometimes, is watching people leave Martinsville. It's wild because it's on a mountain. It's literally on top of a mountain.
See, I've never been to Martinsville, but I don't know if you've ever been to Bristol.
I bet it's the same exact way. Or
Well-
worse, probably. Actually, I think there's only like one way in.
It's like a 2-lane road.
That's how
going,
Martinsville is.
going through the center there. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, you
I think we had to walk like 45 minutes back to the car from the track,
wow.
and then deal with traffic. Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Like this track here, they got the train tracks to go by, but I'm gonna tell you a secret. If you ever go to a Martinsville race, everybody out there listening, if you ever go, make sure you find the back road that leads to Martinsville. Don't go up the main road. If you go up the main road, you're gonna be sitting in traffic for hours. If you go on the back road, the 2-lane back road up the back side of the hill, it is a lot quicker, and you can find parking there way faster.
Well, now I don't know if you've ever been to Richmond.
I have not, fortunately, but I would love to.
Richmond is right in the middle of the city too.
Ah.
Same as Robert's pointed out with Dover. Traffic was horrible there too. Yeah, we drove 6 hours to go to the race, then sat at the race for about 10 to 12 hours, and then drove 6 hours back. It was a long day.
Yeah. Yep. It's definitely a interesting thing.
Oh, I definitely didn't run out of beer, but beer is expensive at races.
Yeah, you better bring it to the race because you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
buy it at the race. I tell you what, guys. Though, however this plays out, this is going to be pretty interesting. I would love to see Daniel Gonzalez get an amazing restart here and be able to challenge this 42 down into 1. If that happens, then that's a great thing to see, personally.
I would love to see Daniel win, but even if he doesn't win the top 3, the fact that right now sitting in second, he's up 24 positions, by far our biggest mover today. It has been a fantastic race.
Yes, it has. Here you're going to see they're going to go back. Green flag racing with 7 to go. Gonzalez timed it pretty well. He went a little bit early, had to lift, but he timed it better than he did before. We'll see he'll be able to get down to the corner. Almost a huge wreck here behind him.
Mazzetti
Goes around, and that was the checkup ahead of him. Oh, it's so unfortunate for Mazzetti. In the 88, he was checking up for the 84 of Gonzalez, who kind of missed the entry there, and then from there, the 6 of Kevin Giadrich, or the 9, sorry, of Kevin Giadrich gets into the back of him. And man, oh man, here's Sheffield and Travis Everett now 5th and 6th. And I don't think we'll have a green-white checker. I think we'll be going green with like 2 to go.
So, have our unofficial green-white checkered looking like here. We'll have to see, but man, Trevor Mazzetti, that's the second time that he's caught in some contact up this at the front of the field. What happened here?
Ooh, Rudolph. Ooh, what happened to him?
Yeah.
Oh man, I was kind of worried about him there for a second. I thought,
There was more wrecking.
was there?
Anthony, the 54. He had to stop for the 54.
Oh yeah, Anthony Younes off the corner. He had to stop. He was coming off the exit corner. Anthony Younes pulled right in. Oh man, I tell you what, yeah, Alex Rudolph's heart just literally went in his mouth. That was. Whew.
Yeah, they were trying to catch up to the back of the field and get in pace speed, and he just kind of cut across the nose of the 6 coming out of turn 2 or turn 4. Wow.
Yeah, I tell you, Rudolph there that could have been bad if he would have hit him. That might have been devastating to that car. And where's Macaulay got back to? That's the question. 18th,
Uh,
Brandon.
yeah, not a lot of positions here. I think it
So
was just
I I know I went back earlier and I said that he had a terrible call to pit at 82, and I said it wasn't a terrible call because he got back to first. But now I'm gonna go back on the words that might have been a terrible call to pit before that stage. So unfortunate strategy there for the 62. But hey, man,
well,
he's got the speed, and this race has been tough for a lot of people around him in the points.
it's only terrible because it didn't work.
That's true. That's true.
Yep. If that had played out perfectly, it'd have been a genius call.
Look, now we got Kevin Ruff up here in the third too, Brandon, with the 93 of Dustin Stallings, the one of Michael Sheffield, Travis Everett. Massetti goes back to that 7th position, so unfortunate for him, but he could have lost a lot more there, and he had another great save after getting some rear end contact.
I've got to think after the first bit of contact he had that sent him into the back with, I believe it was a 17 at the time. And then this one, I don't think he's fallen any farther back than 8th all day. So despite all that, he has been right up there, still contending. So great job, regardless, I think, of how this finishes for that 88.
Yes, it will be regardless. We'll see how it plays out here, but it's going to be our first green white checkered attempt, actually. So this will go into overtime. First attempt of 2 here, as Alex Rudolph's been dead on so far in these restarts. Can Gonzalez time the start here? We'll see here. Coming off of 4, another great start from Rudolph. And I tell you what, Gonzalez did not get going. That's going to let the inside line get stacked up. That lets Stallings up to the 2nd position now as they race through 1 and 2. A lot of contact back here. 112 to 6. Oh, there goes the 84 Dan Gonzalez into the wall. It is stacking up all behind. Rudolph wants to get around turn 4 to see the white flag. White flag is going to be in the air, and the caution is going to come right before he takes it, and that's going to be green white checker number 2. Now you have Rudolph, Stallings, and Everett top 3.
Wow, Travis Everett managing to rebound up to 3rd.
Wow, what a wild night we've had at Martinsville. I was going to say 2 wild races here tonight. And we're going to go to double overtime here like we did earlier in the ARCA series. And I tell you what we seen there, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, they were, I'm not sure that was for anybody that was spun, but definitely because there's a lot of contact, guys bumper carring around here. They were 4 wide at one point, Zach.
Yeah, that was all over the place. Guys really just looking for anywhere to go. But, man, been a interesting night. 21st caution of the evening here, so looks like we're going to end up with 21 cautions here at the Martinsville Speedway tonight here for the RSR Cup Series for round number 7. And definitely a lot of bent fenders. I don't know how many bent fenders there are, but I'm sure there's at least a few. I mean, that's just short track racing.
Well, I guarantee you there are quite a few. Probably more than I've heard so far. But yeah, based on a lot of guys getting caught up in repeated incidents that maybe not even specifically at anybody in particular, but that's going to be incredibly frustrating.
Oh, it definitely is. And I'll tell you what's incredibly frustrating is Alex Rudolph. He comes off of 4. He's literally just got to make one more lap. He says, you know what? White flag is in the air. I can see him waving it. I can see Barney waving it. But he had to switch hands real quick to that yellow flag. And I tell you what, Barney can switch hands faster than I don't know, man. He's the fastest flag waver in the world. That's for sure. Here on iRacing, if you haven't seen Barney, he'd be waving flags.
Man has got an arm the size of a tree trunk for as much as he's waving them flags.
He's got Ford F-150s for biceps.
Yeah.
He's out there swinging the flag as fast as possible. But I tell you what, he lets it know when there's caution. He lets you know because he. Now our producer saying he's crediting Barney for not dropping the flag, and I think they glue it to his hands because man, he's never for as fast as he waves it, is he never falls out of his hands. Tell you what, we are going back racing here. This is the final time tonight. Overtime number 2. Alex Rudolph, 42 here, looking to get his first victory of the season. Dustin Stallings, first victory of the season. Travis Everett trying to go for that second victory. Kevin Ruff, first time, and also Daniel Gonzalez there in the top 5, first time winner here, possibly also. We're going to have one heck of a battle down here to the end with 2 to go here as Alex Rudolph is going to lead us back to the green here. Had great restarts so far here. There he goes, takes off, but look at Stallings. Great start side by side as they head down to 1. The 42 is not going to have the outside or inside lane. Stallings to the lead off of turn 2. They're racing side by side.
Oh!
Hit. Here comes Everett. Here comes Kevin Ruff. Kevin Ruff goes to the
Ruff
lead with Daniel Gonzalez in second. Kevin Ruff will win the race here tonight as the caution will be brought out for the 22nd time. And man, oh man, what did we just see?
And Gonzo finishes second.
Wow.
Kevin Giadrasic third. We just talked about how keeping his head down, having a quiet race, manages to squeak by that for third.
Man. I think these guys are waiting for that pace car. Looking to let that pace car catch up here. As that is the checker flag, I believe, in the air there as Kevin Ruff. He's going to be your race winner here tonight in that 112. Congrats to him, man. That is awesome to see for himself. And I tell you what, the top 3, oh, man, Everett tried to make it through. He couldn't make it through, and Kevin Ruff made it stick as Dustin Stallings and Alex Rudolph wrecked off of 2.
Looking at it, Zach, the top 4 are the only ones that were not involved in this wreck.
Wow. Yeah, that wreck was gigantic. I mean, I wish we could go back and show it, but it's literally we're having we can't get it exactly showed. It's I'm telling you, it was mayhem.
Well, I gotta look at it here, but Cody McCauley,
24th.
20. It did not work out well.
No, it did not. Congrats to Kevin Ruff, though, again, as he's getting a little bit of love out here from all the drivers out here. I don't think he's done a burnout yet, but I believe we will go to a quick break here before we get our top 3 finishers here tonight for the Martinsville Speedway here at the RSR Cup Series for round number 7. All right, we are back here at Freaking Fast Broadcast. So we got our top 3 finishers here tonight from the RSR Cup Series at the Martinsville Speedway. As we will pull up Kevin Giadricic now and talk to him about his 3rd place finish here in this number 9 machine. Hey, Kevin, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, well, what a crazy finish down to the end there. I tell you what, definitely were able to squeak by there and get yourself into that 3rd position, man. Just describe to us how difficult it was out there at Martinsville tonight.
Yeah, man, it was a disaster. That's really all I can say about it. I love the league. I love racing with some of these guys, but at times you kind of wonder if if you're going to finish the race because of your own doing or somebody else's. I'm just glad that this track is a more horsepower, not aero. But I mean, man, it was just a race. It was one of those that I'm glad is over.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. I tell you what, it was definitely wild all night tonight. And, and from the driver's seat, we were talking about all night, the mentality of, cautions over and over and over again. How does that affect you from the seat, continuously, going for a lap and then, back to pace laps?
I mean, it's irritating. It's definitely irritating just simply because there's a handful of us that can race hard and door to door and 3 wide and sometimes 4 wide at certain tracks. Um, so then you throw in the other guys that has trouble with it. It's just a mess, man. I mean, it's irritating. It's a headache. Like I said, though, I'm just glad it's over.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, though, good for yourself to come out here the 3rd tonight after a tough night here for the league at Martinsville. It was definitely a wild one, buddy. But congrats on that 3rd. Anybody want to send a shout out to you before we let you go, man?
Yeah, man, just want to give you guys a thanks for, doing the broadcasting, give Ryan and Michael, give them guys thanks for putting the league up, and let's just hope for a better race next week.
That's for sure, buddy. Well, we'll catch you next week at Richmond, man, and congrats on 3rd here tonight.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that was Kevin Giadricic, your 2nd place finisher here tonight. And I tell you what, probably the feel-good story of the night is Daniel Gonzalez here pulling off that 2nd place finish after a little bit of incident there. We thought he might have took it out a little bit. He pops right back in there after that final green white checkered and gets himself a 2nd place finish. So let's hear what Daniel's got to say. Hey, Daniel, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yes, sir, I do.
I tell you what, Daniel, man, great finish tonight for yourself in that 2nd place position. It was up and down. You got into the top 5 there with about really the last 50 laps. You were there the whole time. And from there, it was just a battle going back and forth for everybody. Describe to us from the driver's seat what that was like.
Oh, I don't. It's crazy, honestly. I came into this race. I've done a lot of practice, and it was just iffy. I could not figure out a good method of how to race at all. And then I got into this race, and I'm like halfway through, I finally figured it out, and it showed off. And I was in like the top 10. I'm like, holy crap! And then I got finally got stage points in the stage 2, and I'm like, no shit! And it just kept going up. I'm like, holy fuck! And sorry, I'm so sorry, but I just couldn't believe it, man. It was ridiculous. I was just so overjoyed with that. And then I thought I messed up that lost caution, and then I got 2nd place, and me and my team just went off. We
Yeah,
were so pumped.
Yeah, definitely. Flyboys Racing, man, it's a great night for you guys to pull off this amazing finish here at the end. It was a wild race overall. I mean, carnage everywhere we looked, and you guys played it right, and you were guys to come home with this finish here tonight, man. So congrats on that. Now we head off to Richmond. How does it feel to get some momentum on your side going through the season? Because I know it's been tough so far. Like getting caught up in a few things here and there, and able to come home tonight at Martinsville, where most guys get caught up in it, and you were able to drive through it. How does that feel to go into Richmond next week?
I think I'm going to take my momentum that I got from Martinsville and just bring it with me, because I also got the same short track momentum from Phoenix. So I'm going to try to bring all that into Richmond, and hopefully it still plays well and I can still get a really good finish out of it.
Awesome stuff, Daniel, man. Well, congrats. We love to see that, man. You getting that 2nd place finish. That's awesome to see. Anybody want to send a shout out to before we let you go, man?
I would just like to thank my whole team. They've been really supportive. And I would like to thank Bean because Ryan Bean made me in my paint scheme, and it's amazing. I was so helpful and lucky with that paint scheme.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, it looks very pretty. I gotta say, it looks very, very nice out there. So, congrats on second, Daniel, and we will catch you next week in Richmond, man.
Thank you very much.
You have a great night.
You as well.
All right, you heard the excitement from Daniel Gonzalez himself. Sorry for a little bit of extra language there, but he was definitely excited for that second place finish. A good feel-good story for him too, to see him come second after not having the greatest start to the season for him there. So good to see him get some stage points, like you said. He was excited about everything and the team. So now we move on to the man who won tonight's race, Kevin Ruff, out of nowhere. I tell you, he was involved in the very first caution, I believe, of this race, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to see what his thoughts are on coming back to win it tonight. Hey, Kevin, is Zach up in the booth, man? You got a copy.
Yes, sir. Might have a
I-
heart attack, but I'm here.
I tell you what, man, what a race it was for yourself. I tell you what, we'll get into more about the race, but just describe to us that, exit off of 2, seeing the top 3 wrecking. I mean, what was going through your mind at that point?
I just prayed that Stallings didn't come up and get me. He's one of my Alliance teammates over at Flyboys, but I saw him just kind of slide up, and I was just like, please, 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 just pin her open and just let's see what happens. And I just got really lucky, man.
I tell you what, it takes more than luck, though, man. You put yourself in that position, and them guys went to battle there. You were in the right position at the right time. We were looking at you there at the end. We were like, he's in a good spot to see if something happens here, he could be in the right position. And look what happened off of 2. It cleared up, and you made it through it to pull off the victory for your first one of this season, man. And I believe your first one here at the league at RSR in the RSR Cup Series. So, congrats on that first off. But just describe to us, because I believe you were the very first caution, I believe, getting spun around on the first lap. So how does that feel to come back after a tough way to start the race, but a great way to end it?
At the beginning, I was actually surprised because my qualifying lap, that was the first time I ever cracked 19. I just tried something different in qualifying. I was laying 20 flats throughout the entire week practicing, even in AI races. So I was really surprised by that. So I was like, man, I'm going to start up front. I'm going to get a good position. And then Massetti bumped me, and nothing against him. It's just a freak accident. And I went all the way dead last. So I literally started 4th. First lap gets spun out. I go dead last, and somehow I walked all the way back up to the field with about 55 seconds of damage that I never fixed and won this damn thing.
I tell you what, man, that's a great thing to hear for yourself. Is awesome battle all the way down to the end, and you came out of it with the victory. And I gotta commend you too, because when you spun around that first lap, you held your brakes and you didn't try to get back going and let the whole field go by. Some guys would have let that roll or try to get back going, and you could have caused more mayhem. But look, because of that, now you're sitting in victory lane here at Martinsville before we head off to Richmond next week. So anybody want to send a shout to for your victory here tonight, Kevin?
First off, just want to give a shout out to who I work for in real life, and that is Goodyear. I work for a subsidiary for them, which is Raven Tire. Got to thank them. Without them, I wouldn't do what I'm doing now. Want to thank my teammates with both my Alliance team at Flyboys and my own team, Front Row Racing. Just got to give them a huge shout out. Without them, I don't know where I would be. They've all helped me so much throughout this season and the end of last season when I joined this league. Want to give a huge shout out to Ryan Azell. I feel like a brother to him. He goes out of his way to contact me weekly and talk about things in the league. And then last but not least, the person I really want to give a shout out to is Cody McCauley. Cody, since he has joined this league, has really pitched in to help other drivers out. Him, Curtis Preston, GT, all of those guys, I mean, they're up front for a reason, but they're not scared to share how they stay up front. And Cody really has helped me out more than anybody. So if I could throw a 24 pack of silver bullets through my damn screen right now, I'd probably throw him 6 24 packs to him.
All right, man. Well, congrats. Great stuff there, somebody. And we will catch you next week in Richmond. Go celebrate this thing, man.
Thanks, guys.
You have a great night. All right, that was Kevin Ruff there. A lot of excitement that I have like up here in the freaking booth. I tell you what, my face is smiling and I'm red because I love to see that stuff. People excited about winning, sim racing. Sim racing is so cool, man. That's what just gets it for me. Brandon, what can you say about that, man?
Man, exciting finish. Couldn't ask for anything more, and yeah, a lot of emotion. Some stuff we're gonna be chuckling about for a little while now. But first things first, man. Anybody out there on iRacing, use Cabin Rough as an example. Hold your brakes.
Yep,
It works out.
it does.
And
It works out.
that's all I gotta say.
That is very true. And here is our official race results here from the RSR Cup Series for round number 7 here at Martinsville. Look at this. Cabin Rough here bringing home the victory for Front Row Racing here tonight. Second's going to go to Daniel Gonzalez from Fly Boys Racing. Kevin G. sits in that 3rd position. 4th's going to go to Nolan Potter. 5th, Kevin Zabodil. 6th, Trevor Massetti. 7th's going to be Nathan Campbell. 8th, Michael Sheffield. 9th, Michael Martino. And rounding our top 10 is going to be Ryan Bean. 11th's going to be Travis Everett in that 59. 12th is Kevin Dowd. 13th, Harold Watkins. 14th, John Ouellette. 15th, Stephen Carey. 16th, Bob Fitzpatrick. 17th, Alex Rudolph after that unfortunate last restart. Craig A. Burns in the 18th position. 19th, Tony Ludi. 20th, Andrew Little. 21st, Anthony Younes. 22nd, Rusty Modesty. 23rd, Stephen Baldwin. 24th, Cody McCauley. 25th, David Hall. And 26th is going to be Dustin Stallings. 27th is James Courtrone. 28th, Adam Buzzio. 29th, GT Irizarry. 30th, Chad Biesinger. 31st, Matthew Rush. 32nd, Marc-Andre Thibodeau. 33rd, Dylan Reed. 34th, Junior Miller. 35th, Hunter Hayward. 36th, Curtis Preston. And rounding out your field in the 37th position is Kevin Sabilla, as that is our race results here tonight from the Martinsville Speedway. Brandon already summed it up for us, but man, I tell you what, that's great to see. Congrats to Cabin Rough. Tough race tonight, but it's Martinsville. We can't, I don't want these guys to beat themselves up too much about this. It's a tough racetrack, and sometimes races like this happen. And it's good to see, though, a great feel-good story there for a few drivers getting finishes that they definitely have been working on all throughout this season. So congrats to Kevin Ruff and Daniel Gonzalez on their 1-2 finish here tonight, as it's been a interesting night here at the Martinsville Speedway, as we'll send it up to Robert Warrior Jr., the boss man himself, to close out tonight's broadcast here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Thank you all.
Oh man, it's a rough night, a good night. Both races in the ARCA. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch that, and then finish watching this one from start to finish, man. Drivers, like you guys said, Calvin Ruff, hold the brakes and came from last all the way up to first to win it. And I honestly, I'm just out of words. I don't know what to say. This is like you said, don't beat yourself up too much, gentlemen out there. Martinsville is a tough track, and you're gonna have this here and there. You pack yourself up and get ready to head to Richmond. But man, oh man. But I want to say thank you, too, to everybody out there that tuned in and stuck around for both streams here with Evolution Racing League and Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We do much appreciate you taking your Tuesday nights and joining us out there on the stream and watching these guys battle for race wins, like you just seen Calvin Ruff battle back from last to first. But, all right, well, we'll be... Well, I don't know where we'll be, man. I'm so messed up right now, Zach. But anyways, we'll be with Underdog tomorrow night at 8:35 if anybody wants to come out and join us. And join Zach and Lee Tidwell in the booth, as we'll be with them tomorrow at 8:35 Eastern, like I said. But, well, we're going to pack our stuff up here from Martinsville and call it a Tuesday night. And we hope to see you in the next stream. And one last thing, thank you. Thank you to everybody from the start to now for 1,800 follows on Facebook. We do much appreciate it. And everybody who subscribes over there on YouTube means a lot to the crew and me here at Freaky Fast. But until then, we want to say God bless everybody. Love yous all. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.